Namaskar and welcome, and today we are taking you on a transformative journey with spiritual guru Sundar Gopal Prabhu, who is the founder of ISKM, which is International Sri Krishna Mandir, and it definitely is worldwide, but he is from Singapore, and he has been in US from April 4th through May 14th, and he is here to share profound teachings from the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. With over 4.5 decades of dedicated service spreading Sanatan Dharma across 15 countries, he brings a wealth of knowledge to audiences, seamlessly, integrating technology to enhance the experience. So without further ado, let's immerse ourselves in authentic Vedic wisdom. So, Jai Shri Krishna, Namaskar.
Hare Krishna.
So, let me first of all welcome you to our studio, and really it's an honor to have you with us in the studio. But first of all, let's start with, I want you to talk about yourself. So, what motivated you to take this path?
I came across my spiritual master. I'm sure you know, he came to America in 1965. Mm-hmm. His name is A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, as he's commonly known as Prabhupada. Mm-hmm. And I guess we will show you a picture of him if you're not familiar.
Right.
And he came in 65 and he started the movement. And in 1975, about 10 years later, I got one of his Bhagavad Gita. So when I read that book, I decided to kind of dedicate my life to his service. And that kind of spurred me on from 1975 to the present, studying his books and practicing Krishna consciousness, and that led me from one thing to another. And here now I'm back here. Originally I came to America in 1983 and I left about 84, so I'm coming back almost 40 years.
Wow.
Since then.
That's a long time.
Yes, so yes. Many things have happened. So, I mean, because we are preaching, especially after the COVID, we had a lot of online classes, and that kind of spurred our ISKM to come to the shores of America, where some devotees have taken up the process, and because of their sincerity, they have invited me to come and help them in furthering the organization here in America. This is how it is,
Wonderful. But Prabhuji, I just want to know, in your view, what does the concept of God mean in our everyday life?
See, God is running everything. You cannot separate God from anything at all, because this material world is also part of His creation. See? And actually, in fact, this material body is also created by Him. And if you, when we speak about you, like for example, we say, my head, my hand, my leg, my everything, but who is the my we are referring to? Pretty much many people don't even know or notice even this question. Right. Because they think, mine, it's me. Who's me? I was just recently in Mexico. I just did a class in Berkeley University, and I asked all foreign students, and I asked this question, and everyone was puzzled as though they never heard this in their life, Wow. And that's a fact, because we as spirit soul, we are sitting in this body. And when sitting in the body, we also have the Paramatma, the super soul, Krishna, in our body. So all our actions and everything, God in our body, He is actually the witness, and He acts also as the permitter. So being in this situation, we cannot detach ourselves from God, because it is not we are the doer. I think I'm doing, but it's not a fact.
Right.
Otherwise, why you are forced into doing something you don't want to do?
Right.
So that means there is a controller. So we have to understand this. And if we understand this and relink ourselves with God, Krishna, then our life becomes very smooth. Either we are here in the material world, or we are in the spiritual world, or even in hell, everything becomes fine because we are with God.
Right.
See, so that is what actually the whole thing is about, to become again Krishna conscious. Wow. Right now we are bodily conscious. I'm concerned about myself. I want to enjoy this body. But in the process, I'm getting into a lot of problems. And what is the real problem? The real problem is birth, death, old age, and disease. So every one of us has taken birth, and that is certain.
Absolutely.
And for one who has died, birth is also certain.
Right.
So this is called samsara, cycle of birth and death.
So, since you're talking about problems, and, I just want to know from you that there is so much going on in everybody's lives these
Yes.
days. So, what are like the practical steps to achieve that inner peace?
See, there are three modes of material nature. There's sattva gun, or mode of goodness. There's rajagun, mode of passion, and there's tamagun, the mode of ignorance. So if you go into the mode of rajagun and tamagun, then you are going to get yourself into kama, krodha, lobha, matsarya, mada, one thing after the other. And this actually is the result of our suffering. Because when you get into sense gratification, then you get pretty much covered over. And it leads to madness. So why you want to go in that direction? And then how you come out of this? That's why Krishna, when he was asked by Arjuna, why the living entity is compelled to do sinful activities as though he's unwilling. And Krishna replied, it's because of the mode of passion and ignorance. And this brings about kama and krodha. So if people can understand this, then they can work themselves to coming to the mode of goodness, which is only possible by being in God consciousness, then their problem is all overcome.
Right.
It's a simple thing, but nobody wants to do that.
Right. So, since you are saying nobody wants to do that, and of course, with advancement in science and everything else, people, as I said earlier, everybody is busy with their lives. And do you still believe that, people still need to find that faith in God in this day and age?
You have to, otherwise there's no way out of this cycle of birth and death. This cycle of birth and death has been going on for millions of years. And we have taken umpteen number of birth and death. And not only human life, there are 8.4 million species. It says in the Vishnu Puranam that if you are not careful, you can go down to lower species. And the lower species is the fish body. And I mean, look, if you want to end up in this kind of lower species and suffer all the way, I mean, no intelligent person will want to do that. Yes, so the idea of human birth, because to get human birth is a rare opportunity. Because only in this human birth you can make some inquiry.
Right.
You can pray, you can learn about God, and you can escape the cycle of birth and death. So if you don't utilize your human faculty to kind of go to a higher standard, then you're no better than an animal. So why you want to do that?
Right.
So in order to understand this, they need help of a spiritual person who is coming in line from Krishna, parampara. Then when he comes in contact, this is called yoga. This is called real yoga, linking with God. Then his life becomes successful. Just a simple example, a person may be suffering and loitering on the street, and if someone finds him and say, look, hey, I know you, I know your father, now I'll take you to your father. Then when he brings him back to his rich father, all his problem is solved.
Solved, yes.
The same way, if you know our rich father Krishna and you get back to him, then you have no more problems. The problem is to go back to Krishna.
Right, right.
So material world, Krishna says, this place is dukhalayam ashashvatam. It is not a sukhalayam, it's a dukhalayam. Although we think that we are happy, but it's temporary. A little bit of happiness and so much of distress.
I think everything is temporary.
Yes.
Yes.
So therefore, if there's some temporary world, there must be a permanent world. And Krishna said, that's my world, Vaikunta, where you don't have any anxiety. Kunta means anxiety. Vaikunta means devoid of anxiety. That's why he says, Yat gatva nirvartante tad dhamam paramam mama. If you come to my abode, then you don't return again to this temporary world.
Wow.
So why not we make an attempt, since we are doing so much to take care of our family, our children and so many things, and we understand this is all going to go to waste. So why not do something which is permanent? That is to save our soul.
Right.
So that's what actually the Vedic scriptures is thinking about, speaking about. Ataha Brahma Jigyasa. Now that you got human body, you please inquire about Brahman. See? Don't stay in darkness, come to light. So why not make that attempt? And India is it's a very, very spiritual country.
Absolutely.
God walked
Absolutely.
there. You cannot say nobody knows God, but God actually walked. Krishna, Rama, Chaitanya, so many personalities. And Acharyas, Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, Shankaracharya. So all of them have come to help us, educate us. But instead of that, we are running to America. And here what we are doing? McDonald's and Pepsi Cola, Coca-Cola. This is what
Burger King.
we're getting ourselves contaminated.
Right. I was just wondering, since since we met, like it has been whatever, an hour, you have been like Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Is Lord Krishna the only God?
Yes, Krishna declared in the Bhagavad Gita that I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
But we have other gods too. Why shouldn't we
the other
worship
gods
them
are
too?
called, they are the universal managers. That's why they're called demigods. There are 330 million of them. And they are in charge of various departments. For example, the sun, the Surya Bhagavan, he is in charge of the sun. He is not in charge of the moon. And in the moon you got Chandra. He is in charge of the moon. So everyone has got their departments, and there are 330 million of them. But Krishna says, I, Aham Adi Devanam. I am the source of all these demigods. See, and the demigods also acknowledge that. They also say Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Brahma is also saying Isvara Paramaha Krishna Sachid Ananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karanam Karanam. He's saying Isvara, among all controllers, the Supreme Controller is Krishna. And Lord Shiva even saying Aradhanam Sarvesham Vishnu Aradhanam Param. Again. So see, this is the problem. The problem is that we are not educated properly. Because we are not consulting the scriptures. And also in the Skanda Puranam it just says that if you worship Krishna, you are worshipping everybody. So everybody is so short of time and everybody wants quick thing. Just why not do this one thing? And everybody is satisfied. Yes?
I mean, that makes sense, yes. Yes.
And you're going to get so much of benefit. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Ananyaya chintayanto mam ye jana prayupasate tesham nitya abhyuktanam yoga chemam vahamyam. For my devotee who is constantly thinking of me, for him, I carry what he lacks and preserve what he has. So, what's the problem? The problem is to link with him. And it's very simple. It's not very sophisticated that you go to the forest or jungle or practice in some very big kind of yoga postures. No, you just have to open your mouth and repeat this mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then everything is done. I take care, Krishna says, I will handle everything. You don't have to worry. Sarva dharmam parityaja mam ekam sharanam vija aham tvam sarva papebhya mokshiyasmi ma sucha. Don't worry. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender to me. I will deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. So why not we have this trust? We are putting our faith in so many other things which is all blind. Anything can collapse. But why not put on God who will never collapse? And that he showed by dealing with Arjuna. Arjuna said, because he was sitting in my chariot, all these big generals could not even touch a little hair of my head. So how much Krishna is so much protective of his devotees.
Wow.
So why not come forward and take shelter of him?
Absolutely, I think very well said. And let me ask you, you are here in USA, of course, to share your profound teachings, from Bhagavad Gita. So, in your opinion, tell me what is the most essential teaching of Bhagavad Gita?
The most essential thing is this verse I just quoted. Krishna says, abandon everything and just surrender to me. Okay. That's almost the last verse of the Gita. And even in the last verse, whoever have Krishna, yatra yogeshwaro Krishna, yatra partha dhanurdhara, tatra sriyo vijayo buddhe, durva nittirmatir mama. It says in that verse that if you keep Krishna and Arjuna with you, wherever there's Krishna and wherever there's Arjuna, then there'll always be victory, opulence, extraordinary power and all morality. So why not we get, that's what daily we are praying, God give me this, God give me that, God give me so many things. So why not just go to Him and He will give you anything, everything?
Absolutely.
Right? Simple. So this knowledge has not been there because everybody keeps the Bhagavad Gita, you know where? In the puja room and put some flowers. They don't want to take the book and read, you know. How is this knowledge? So why not hear these things from Krishna himself, original God speaking, and take to his path, and everything is finished. And your going back to Godhead is assured.
Absolutely. But is there like a magic shortcut to any of this, spiritual perfection?
Yes, in Kali Yuga, this is the magic. Simple magic. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself, when Krishna came, he asked everyone to surrender. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, say, you surrender or you don't surrender, never mind, you simply chant. Just by chanting, everything is handled already. So you do not know, just like you take food, when you put into your stomach, you don't know how it works. Transformed into blood, muscle, bone, this, that, automatically. Same way, when you chant this name of God, Krishna, then automatically everything will be adjusted for you. And you going back to the spiritual world is assured. I mean, look how much it takes just to open the mouth and just say.
Right. You're talking about food, that reminded me, a lot of people think, if you are spiritual, does diet matter when you are like into spirituality?
You see, spiritual thing is very much part of you because you are a spirit soul. As I have explained, you are not the body. You are not head, you are not hand, you are not. So who are you? You are a spirit soul. So being in spiritual in nature, so you naturally should act in the spiritual plane. So when you're trying to do in your conditioned way of being a materially conscious of identifying the body, and that's why you got a lot of problems. And that was the first thing that Krishna corrected Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita. You are talking so many big things, but you do not know that you are not this body. So all these kingsmen you're so concerned about killing, actually they are spirit soul, you cannot kill them. So that was the first lesson. So we have to understand how we are a spiritual entity. I think even in your Hindi language, you say, Atmi hai. You never say he's the body, you say he's Atma. Atma means soul, is it not? Yes. So you see how the culture is already indoctrinated in your so-called languages. The only concept is that they don't know what it is all about. So someone has to educate them because this is required. Because we are conditioned since time immemorial, so many years we have been into so many bodies that this message cannot be revived by our own strength. It's not possible. We have to go to a spiritually enlightened person to get this unlocked so that we can again come back to our original understanding. That's why Krishna also advised Arjuna, Tadvidi panipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshyanti te jnanam jnanina tattva darshana. You go and approach a self-realized soul, and from him you hear this transcendental knowledge, and in which way you will not again get into illusion.
Right.
See, so a guru is very important. All Indians know that, they need a guru. But who is the guru? A bona fide guru is very important. Doesn't mean that I wear some cloth and a big long beard, therefore I am a guru. Doesn't make sense. He must come from an authorized disciplic chain. And there's only 4 authorized chains. You have the Brahma Sampradaya, the Rudra Sampradaya, the Lakshmi Sampradaya, and the Kumara Sampradaya. So unless you're connected to this Sampradaya, He Sampradaya Vina, Te Mantra Nispalaha. If you are not connected, then your mantra will not become very effective.
Okay.
See, you cannot just learn the mantra from a TV show, no. It doesn't work like that. Of course, I'm giving a show now, but But of course, I'm
No,
speaking.
but I'm sure our viewers are enjoying it and they will have a good time and definitely they will learn it.
Of course, if they can just learn
Yes.
this one thing of chanting this mantra, and their life will become perfect. Because this mantra is one thing about special about this mantra, it doesn't require any qualification to chant this mantra. It qualifies the chanter. This is the difference between other mantras. All other mantras you must get initiated, you must become a Brahmin, what not exact. But here in this chanting, it doesn't require that. Because this Hare Krishna mantra is so potent that even if you qualified or not qualified, it purifies you. Just like poison. If you take poison knowingly or unknowingly, you will die. And that's just a material thing. But imagine the name of God, how powerful it is. See? By just chanting, everything gets settled, you become purified, you are awakened to your original situation as being a servant of God, and you develop love for Him, and finally you return home. Just by repeating this Maha Mantra. That's why it is called a Maha Mantra.
Our younger generation over here, how can we engage them?
It is not difficult. Just like this knowledge is easily available for everybody. The soul, it doesn't require the stages of being a child or you are endowed only can do it. Like other yoga, only the endowed can do this yoga. Children cannot. But in this case, everyone can do this. Even a child also can chant. So it is so easy. And if we teach them this thing, and then the child will benefit. Because even Prahlad Maharaj, I don't know you know Prahlad Maharaj, he is actually the son of Hiranyakashipu, who was killed by Narasingha Dev, half lion, half man. And he is saying, the Kaumaram Acharat Pragyo, you should start this at the early stage as possible, age of 5. And if you teach the kid this mantra especially, and the basic thing that you are actually servant of God, Krishna, and you see, his life will become successful. Because if you are connected with God, earlier, that's the best, is it not? Right? Why delay? They all think that no, you should grow old and then you should do this. But how? What guarantees that you will grow old?
That's true.
So, sooner the better. So you can teach the children to chant, then your life becomes successful.
So you are saying basically at an earlier age, like around 4 or 5, you should start doing that. Okay.
That will be the best, because then you save the children. Because it says also in the scripture, one should not be a father, one should not be a mother, one should not be a guru, one should not be a if they cannot deliver the dependents. If their dependents are in illusion and you have a responsibility like a father and mother, then instead of just giving them this material so-called comfort or education or whatever, this spiritual education is so important because you're actually making sure that he does not take another birth in another mother's womb. That is the best safeguard. Otherwise, this material thing will propel him to take some more bodies, and you never know, he will end up again as a human being. But if you teach him how to chant, then it is assured, if he doesn't go back for some reason, he will at least get a human birth. I mean, look, it's a deal. And on top of that, if you chant Hare Krishna, if you chant, you are going to deliver 21 generations of your father and his fathers and your father and grandfather and so on. 21 generations. Wow. And if you chant, again your children's children, 21 generations are all going back to the spiritual world. This is assured by the Lord Himself. So see, what kind of deal you are getting just by chanting Hare Krishna.
Absolutely, I think it's better than any other deal. Just chanting.
Especially in this age where you just said, we are so much into the rat race that we got no time. I mean, why not invest the time in this? While driving, while going anywhere, you can always chant.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think we are running out of time, but my last question to you is any message you have for all the global audience?
Yes, I would definitely say that you should all take up this most easy process of chanting Hare Krishna, and you see result. You will see for your own self how much you are benefiting. This is the real important thing for everyone to do. Regardless of race, creed, caste, just chant, and you see everything will fall in place. There's no other easier method. In fact, Krishna says, Hare Nama, Eva Kevalam, Kalau Nasteva Gatirani. In this age of Kali, there is no other sublime method than chanting the holy name. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. So why not to do what he is telling us to do? And that also he said 3 times. When someone tells you to do something 3 times, you must know how serious it is.
Absolutely.
So take advantage and become successful. It is for you, and it has no cost. All it is, your investment is to open the mouth and just say, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
And thank you so much. And in the end, I'll say Hare Krishna and thank you.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. At least you chanted now. That's good.